So, are you behind or ahead with your retirement savings? And every year, Vanguard publishes its analyzed data from millions of retirement accounts to find the average and median 401k balance by age, industry, and gender. And let me first go over the overall 401k balance throughout this video. And according to the Vanguard data in 2024, the average 401k balance was $134,128, with the median balance being $35,286. And keep in mind that the average and median 401k balances were collected from various retirement account balances. And just real quick, let me explain the differences between average and median, because I had several people try to argue with me last year in the comment section that I had them mixed up. I told them that we learned this in 6th grade in the nicest way possible, but it's always a good reminder about their definitions. And when I say average, it means that Vanguard adds up every retirement balance and then divides the total sum by the total number of existing accounts, averaging the balances of all retirement plans. Okay, so the average balance is always going to be higher because you could have multiple 7 or 8 figure retirement balances, right? And when I say it's the median balance, it means that it's the middle value of a set of numbers in ascending or descending order. It doesn't matter. So if I have 5 accounts that are $1,000 in retirement balance, and I have 5 accounts that are, let's say, $1 million, then the median value is going to be right in the middle, around $500,000, right? While we look at the data together, I want you to keep in mind that these average and median balances don't necessarily mean that you are behind or ahead of retirement. How much you personally need to retire with your 401k is very subjective. Your financial situation is different from mine and everyone else watching this video, because 401k is likely not going to be your only retirement asset. You might have your Roth IRA, HSA, taxable brokerage account, real estate, military pension, and maybe even business income throughout your retirement. If you truly want to know when you're going to be financially independent, you can download my free resources and calculators by visiting firestatechat.com/resources. And you can also schedule a session with me by visiting firestatechat.com/consultation. And let's just say you are looking to replace 100% of your income with your 401k. And that is the dream for everybody, right? So, and I'm going to use the 401k for this scenario to make things easier. And throughout this scenario, I'm going to use $75,000 as the example, okay? That's going to be the annual pre-tax income, and the portfolio on an average of 8% annually. That will be the portfolio growth. And this calculator also assumes that your income increases by 2% annually. So in order to replace your $75,000 pre-tax income, you'll need to have at least $1.875 million invested, and that's with the 4% withdrawal rate, okay? And if you want to do the 3% withdrawal rate, that would be the different amount. If you want to do the 5% withdrawal rate, that would be a different amount too. But throughout this example, I'm just going to use the 401k calculator. And also, I understand that it's not going to be 8% growth every year. So this right here is all going to be different, right? But I'm just going to average it to 8%. So you can always play around with the numbers and just download a free calculator and just change the numbers as you will. All right. So let me also use the average value of $134,128 as the current retirement balance. Okay. So if you are in your 20s, let's say you're 25 years old with over 6 figures in your 401k, it is fair to say that you are very ahead of the game. Your income is likely higher than the average, or you're contributing more than the average 20-year-old. If that's the case, I want you to pat yourself on your back and say, well done, and keep going. And you're truly kicking butt and on the way to financial freedom. If you're in your mid-30s, let's say you are 35 years old, you need to assess your current income, contribution rate, and employer match, even with a balance of, let's say, $134,000. You should be able to achieve over $1.8 million by the time you turn 54 years old. And if you're contributing at least 15%, okay? So let me go ahead and switch that to 15%. Okay, so 15% will put you at about 56 years old. That's a 15% contribution rate. If your employer contributes, let's say 5%, then you can count that towards your savings rate, which can significantly help you get to your retirement goal much sooner. And by age 50, you also want to take advantage of the catch-up contribution right here at $75,000 $7,500, okay? And you want to do that as much as you can before you retire. So when you're retired, you're not going to be able to do that $7,500. And when you turn 60 years old, you're going to have that extra $10,000 until you turn 64 years old, and it goes back to 7,500. So if you're in your 30s, you still have time to catch up if you can increase your savings rate. Consistency is the key. And if you're in your mid 40s, let's just say you're 45 years old with the balance of $134,000 in your 401k, then you're starting to fall a little behind to replace your income at $75,000. In order to replace 100% of your income, you're going to have to increase your savings rate to about 30% savings rate to get to 1.8 million if you're looking to replace 100% of your income at that point, okay? By, let's say, by age 62 or 63. Again, this is assuming that the only source of retirement income you'll have is your 401k. So it doesn't account for your Roth IRA, HSA, or Social Security. So you can play around with the numbers when you get this calculator. By the way, I am so fired up to announce the launch of my private FIRE community for people just like you and me who are passionate about investing, saving, and achieving financial independence and exploring different possibilities to retire early. My private community will allow you to connect with me on the platform and get in touch with other like-minded individuals or couples who are just as serious as you are with the FIRE movement. As a member of my private community, you'll get resources like investing, saving, paying off debt, or finding the right place to grow your money. And if you're 50 years old, I'm just going to put 50 here, in the same year, let's say this calendar year, and you're making $75,000 a year, you're going to have to increase your retirement contributions as much as you're going to have to increase your, not just your contribution, but also your catch-up contribution if you want to achieve that same 100% of your income. Now, you're going to say, well, that's probably impossible. So you're going to have to face the reality of, do I want to work a little bit longer to get to that point, or do I want to sacrifice a little bit to maximize your contribution now? Or do you want to just only replace, let's say, 80% of your income instead of 100%, right? So that's the reality. And I'm not putting any emotions into it. This is all math. It's a math problem, right? So if you retire by age 60, you're going to have a pretty close to $900,000. You're going to have to wait until you're 67 to get that 1.8 million. And that's not adjusted for inflation. So if you're extremely behind on your retirement going into your 50s, you're going to have to work a little longer because you already lost the opportunity to invest when you're in your 20s, 30s, and 40s. And it's a math problem, again, without any emotions. You either increase your income to increase your contributions or significantly reduce your expenses. But you can only reduce your expenses so much. If you're just planning to live on your Social Security, it's not going to be enough. And based on the data I've seen, Gen X is by far the generation that has fallen behind on their retirement savings. So if you're ever feeling discouraged from investing, just take a look at the latest statistics of 401k millionaires in the US. And according to Fidelity, right here, the Q2 of 2024, there was an increase or a record number of millionaires in the US, 401k millionaires, thanks to the stock market, with the S&P 500 nearly up 20% year to date at the time I'm recording this video in 2024, and this is October 2024. The 401k millionaires increased by 2.5% from 485,000 to 497,000. And that's a 12,000 increase just in one quarter. And we have even more IRA millionaires with 398,000, which is an increase from 376,000 in the prior quarter. How did they start? They didn't just start early, but they saved consistently. Consistency is the key to investing. And I need you guys to stop moving around your 401k like you're trading stocks. You need to stick to your investment and allocation plans. If you're 25 or 30 years out from your retirement age, does it really matter if the stock market is on a short-term decline? If we lose a 5% decline or 10% decline in value with the S&P 500, do you need to put them all in bonds and then buy it back? No, you need to just keep buying. You need to stay consistent with your savings rate. This is not a taxable brokerage account. This is your 401k. Can you consistently invest 25% of your income towards your retirement? If you're just starting at 5%, can you increase it by, let's say, 2% next year, right? And I get these comments a lot on my videos, pretty much every video. Why should I save for retirement if I am already too late? Well, are you really giving out now so that you're giving yourself zero possibility to retire? Every dollar you put in now matters. Time matters more than anything else when it comes to investing. Most of you guys watching this video have that understanding. I need you to spread the words to the people who have doubts about investing, they have doubts about the future economy, the economic condition, the unemployment rate, and all that. Forget all that for a second and take a look at what your savings rate is, because your savings rate matters more than the stock market returns. Before picking which mutual funds are right for you, you need to know how much you're contributing and how much your employer is contributing. But 401k is a scam. So why should I invest in my retirement? If you're so successful with other types of investments, then go for it. Nobody's going to stop you. But for those who understand how a 401k works, you know how it can reduce your tax liabilities now with a traditional 401k and how it can reduce your tax liabilities later with a Roth 401k. But regardless of Roth or traditional, every day you delay your contribution is every day you delay your retirement, right? Okay.